Alrighty, let's see who's out there in Facebook and YouTube land. All right, the comments have been loaded and it is 5 minutes to 12. So I will sit here and wait till you all come on. And once you arrive, if you don't mind, please make sure that you let me know that you're out there. I'd greatly appreciate it. That would be marvelous. And I'll just sit here and wait for y'all. And of course, you know, every time I start the video, what happens? My nose itches. I'm just letting y'all know now. It just started. So apparently, I don't know what it is. But go ahead and come on in. Get a drink, have a snack, whatever it is that you're doing. And then this will probably run another probably 30 minutes, if that. It's a unique technique, and it's not one that I have seen anybody doing sometimes. So I thought, well, this might be just the thing that we need to do. So that's what we're going to do. Give me one moment. I think I'm going to add some light behind me. I think it's a little dark in here. So if you don't mind, give me a second. I'm going to fire up this camera and add some light, and let's see if that makes a difference here. I think it will. So let me get that, and I got to get it plug it in, and then I aim it towards the, learning this, aim this towards the white wall so it bounces off, and then helps our lighting with the camera. And I think that, yeah, definitely makes a difference. So you can see, there we go. I'm gonna turn it just a little bit. I think that should work. And my nose is itching again. Okay, so we are ready to go. Once you come on, just let me know if you're out there. So if I know if I need to be, if I'm talking to myself. My camera, I've got my camera positioned as I always do, but the setup is a little bit off, so the camera is in my way of seeing me talking to you. So I just want to make sure I'm looking in the camera. But anyways, my nose is itching. But we'll get started shortly. This is I like this unique, this technique. It's one that I haven't done in a long time, and I came across it, so I thought, well, let's do that. And then we'll get started, and I'll show you how to do it and what not to do, because that's my job, is to show you the opportunities opportunities where you can make corrections. Anyway, so I'll just sit here and wait till y'all come on, and we'll get started. Now my nose is itching. It's 11:59, so I will probably start about 12:02. And if you come in late, then obviously you'll just have to catch the replay, depending on where you are when you come in to the video. So if you're out there and you're new to my channel, which would be on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe to my channel. Click the bell that will notify you anytime I upload a new video. And I also have member perks. So if you'd like to join my YouTube channel and receive those perks, then there is a link to that. And take a look at that and see if that's something that you might be interested in participating in. And give me some feedback. And if you're not, if you're on Facebook and you haven't joined my VIP group, that would be another area that you can join in. It's a great group of interaction between various crafting people, and my goal is that we share our card making tips and ideas with each other, so that it just helps us grow and learn from each other. And I think that's the best part that we can gain from being part of this community. Hello from Indiana. And so welcome. I'm going to wait another probably 2 minutes before we get started, just to make sure we get some of the late folks that are coming through. I know it's lunchtime on the East Coast, so I thought if for those that may be working or have things to do, take a break, then they can watch this video. We're going to do a new technique. Well, new. I haven't used this one in a long time. So today's video probably will only run about 30 minutes. I don't want to take up a lot of your time during the day because I know it's everybody has tight schedules and all of that, but I think it's a great one. Hello from Wisconsin. How are you? We are having warm weather today, just to let you know. It's high today will be 79. The sun is out. Yesterday was a boating day. We had great weather for that. So Riley the dog, myself, my husband, and one of the neighbors, we went out, took a nice slow boat ride. It's a pontoon boat that we took out, and took a slow ride. Then we went and had lunch, and then we came back. And then my husband, I don't know, he had something to do. I can't remember what it was. Oh, he went to a meeting. And then I stayed at the house because we were having the lanai screens were being rescreened. So I wasn't in my studio at all yesterday. And then last night we went and saw a show, a musical music show at our art center here called the Tribute. And oh my gosh, it was fabulous, just fabulous. So, all right, well, I'm going to go ahead and do my little introduction stuff, and then we'll get started. For those of you that don't know me, I am Dawn Duvall. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up, and I have been doing this, be 12 years next month. And this craziness that it is, I love what I do. I enjoy what I do. I have fun with what I do. I'm the first one to tell you when I'm a goofball. I've made mistakes, and I don't, it's not that important. You just got to let that stuff go, because my whole idea is that whatever that card looks like when you're done, the person receiving it has no idea what it's supposed to look like. So there you go, so don't stress out about the little things. All right, don't forget my daughter and granddaughter. Oh, in the Naples area. Yeah, that's about... about 30 minutes, 40 minutes from where I'm at. I'm right at the, we're right at the last light going to Sanibel Island. So, well, that's awesome. Yeah, they're having good weather then. So, okay, two things I want to remind you, well, actually it'd be three things I want to remind you about. Tomorrow I am doing my BOGO. So, if you haven't already on Facebook, you can go to Shall We Stamp. I think it says online BOGO. Just look for that. It should pop up. And we're going to do, there is an information, when you get on the front of the page on the right-hand side, there's a link to download the instructions. And I encourage you to do that, because if you don't follow the instructions, then it's not going to be nice. But it's very detailed. So, but the gist of it is you have two options. I'm selling my retired stamps, bundles, paper, a few ink pads, not sure what else, but any embellishments and things like that. So the first option is that you can pick out whatever you want through my retired product. You'll fill out a Google form. There's a link to that. You'll fill out the Google form. It's in the instruction document. And once I receive that, I will pull all of your items, make sure that they're all available. Then I will send you a message and let you know. And then you go to my online store and you will place an order for that, whatever amount that the items are that you want for free. So let's just say you purchase $75 in my, you want $75 in my retired products. Then you would order $75 in my online store. You would get a celebration item because you've gone over 50. You will also receive my January tutorial bundle of 42 projects. And then you're going to receive the retired items that you want for free. Now, the only thing you have to do is pay the shipping on the retired items. I will send those out priority mail. So depending on how many you have, a padded envelope is $8.50. And if we have to go into a medium-sized box, that's going to run somewhere in the $15 range. And that's USPS. I don't add anything to that. That's what they charge, and I pass that charge directly on to you. The second option is if you don't want to purchase any new product, then you can pick out your products and do a buy one, get one half off. So from my retired set, then whatever the lesser priced item would be the half price item. And then I would send you an invoice for the cost of those items with the shipping included, and that would be either paid through Venmo, Zelle, or PayPal, whichever is easier for you. But if you do the online purchase, then you also get to participate in the celebration. So just keep that in mind. It starts at 9 o'clock in the morning. It's going to run all day Saturday. I'll check the evening, but if I don't, I'll check it Sunday, and it will run through Sunday till about 6 o'clock. And I'll pull items as fast as I can to make sure they're available, but do not place your order if you're doing the first option until you hear back from me to make sure all of those items are still available. So that's the instructions, and please make sure you follow those. Okay, so with that being said, I'm excited to show you. And the other thing, let me just flip the camera down. This is the January tutorial bundle. I participate in a collaboration of, in this case, 41 other demonstrators from around the world and within the States. We all submit a project, and if you spend $50 in my online store or more, then you will get this tutorial bundle of 42 projects emailed to you. And it usually, once I get notified that you've placed your order, then I send this to you with a link by email to the document in a Google Drive, okay? So now, with that being said, I think that's all the housekeeping and stuff that I wanted to cover. Now today we're going to do something a little different. Now I want to show you what we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing a score. I'm calling it a scoring technique. I'm not sure. Let me put this here. I'm going to put a piece of vellum here to kind of hide that little the glare from the light. All right, so what it is that we're doing, and hopefully y'all can see this. Let me know if you're not able to see these lines, because I may have to do it on maybe a darker piece. Welcome. So the idea is that you're going to take your scoring tool, whether it be your paper trimmer or your scoreboard or whatever thing that you have that you do your scoring. And we're going to score some lines on the card base. Let me see if I can get up closer with y'all. Can y'all see that, the lines in there? So, and what it does is it just makes a nice, and you can make the pattern however you want. So it's nice because you'll have this nice outline of scoring on your card on the base, and then you decorate it however you want to do it. And in some ways you do this, it can be very simple. And these cards that I'm making are going to be very simple. Now, the one thing you want to make sure you do, which is don't do what I did, because this is the second card. Now, if you look at my score lines, mine are actually indented, right? So what you need to do is flip your paper, and this is where I caught it after I put it together, so I thought I'd show you this. You want to leave it, flip it over, so again, you'll see those score lines. Let me see if I can put something under here that will help show. Maybe I don't need white. Let me see. Let me get another color. Hang on. Let me see if the craft mat will help kind of deflect some of that white. You can see some of the score lines, or I've done 3 here and 3 here, but I flipped it over so the indentation, the part that's indented, is now reversed, so it's sticking up. So it gives it a little bit of a lift, if that makes sense. Okay, I hope that does. So when you're scoring, you're pushing that card stock down into with your paper, with your trimmer, right, or your stylus. So in that case, just flip the card from this way, back this way, and then that's how you'll start decorating. I did this one, and then after I finished it, I realized, oh, I didn't get my pieces that looked up. So that's what you need to do. Again, I'm doing very simple cards. It's not going to take long at all to make these type of cards. And you can also, these are your normal size 8.5 by 5.5, but this is a great technique if you want to send out note cards, so they really can make those note cards pop if you do that as well. And I think it's just a different technique that we can use. It's a very, if you like simplicity, this is a great way to do that. And you can create whatever the designs are that you want using your stylus or your scoring tool, okay? So we're going to make 3 cards, and I'm going to show you the 3 that we're going to do. They're very simple. So this one, again, is just a basic plain whisper white, and I did a thank you on the front. So it's a very simple, nothing fancy card, we're going to score across 2 lines on the top and the bottom, and then the same thing coming down. So hopefully you can see that, those score lines. Hopefully that works. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull our cardstock in, and let me grab, let me see, this is going to be for, let me see what I'm doing here. Oh, this one goes over here. I have to think what I'm doing here. Okay, so I went ahead and scored my 4 1/4, right? So it's 5 1/2 by 4, 5 1/2 by 4, I'm sorry, 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, and score at 4 1/4, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and fold this because I want to make sure that my score line is, I can see it. So the best way to do this is either on a scoreboard or your trimmer, because you want to be able to see your score line, particularly on this card, because this one we're going to go up. This is the one that we're going to do the 4 corners, okay? So bring in your paper trimmer. We're going to use our score thing, so make sure you move your darker, if you have the paper trimmer from Stampin' Up, move this all the way down and get that out of your way. I am going to open up my arm, and then just decide which part you want as the front of your card. So I'm going to start with this is going to be my front on the right side. Now this one, we are going to, hang on a minute, I got to get my right, all right. So on this one, this is the 8 1/2 side, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this over to 3/4 of an inch, and that's where I'm going to start my first score, okay? Now this one, we're going to do 2 score lines at the top, bottom and the top, and then I'm going to turn it, and we're going to do each side, all right? So 3/4 up, because that gives me a little bit at the bottom. So when you push down, you want to push down a little bit harder, but not hard enough where it's going to rip it, okay? So we're just going to come all the way down through our score, and I'm going to push a little bit harder so I get that good indentation, so when I flip it over, it's going to look nice. Now, I'm going to move it a 1/4 of an inch. Now, you can move it a 1/2 inch if you want, whatever your spacing is. I'm going to do a 1/4. So that means I'm going to slide my paper to the right, since I have some markings over here. I'm going to move it over to the 1 inch mark. Now, if you're going the other direction, you just do the same thing. So we're going to line this up at 1 inch, and then this again, you're just going to run the score back and forth, and that's going to give me my 1/2 inch mark. So if you can see that, and again, I know it's on the white paper, hopefully you can see, but when I flip it over, you can see how it stands out. All right. So now we're going to come in, and I'm lining this is the top part, right, on the right hand side. So this is my score at 4 1/4. So I'm going to have that lined up in the track at 4 1/4. So now I want to go to the left. I'm going to slide my paper to the left 3/4 of an inch. So I'm at 4 1/4, right? So I'm at 4 1/4 is where I'm scored. So I want to come over to 5 inches, which is 3/4 of an inch. And I'm going to pull this down, and I'm going to score again, okay? And then we're going to slide it again. I want to go 1/4 of an inch, so I'm going to slide this down to 5 1/4, and then that's going to give me my 1/2 inch in between the two. I'm going to push this down a little bit harder, so make sure we get a good impression. All right, so now I have my 2 score lines. If you can see that, I'm hoping that you can. All right, now I'm going to turn the paper, and we are going to, now we're going on the 8 1/2 side, or the 5 1/2 side. So again, I'm going to line this up. I'm going to come over the 3/4, right, because I want to keep everything kind of symmetrical. So I'm going to move this over to the 3 1/4 mark. Now here's the thing that you need to know. You don't want to go past your score line, because this is the back of the card, or there'll be marks. And if you do, it's no big deal. So line up your scoring tool at the 4 1/4 mark, right there where the card folds, okay? So if you have our trimmer, I put right here, it shows us that's 4 1/4, and there's my little line right there that I can follow. I put a piece of double-sided tape here so that I can see my numbers, because otherwise you don't see them. So I'm going to start at the 4 1/4, which is the top of my card, and I'm going to pull this down. And again, be careful when you go back, because we only want to go back to 4 1/4, right? because we don't want to go past that. All right, so that's that. Now I've made my first score mark here. Now I'm going to move it over a half an inch, I'm sorry, a quarter inch. So now we're going to move it to the 1 inch mark. And I'm going to make sure I got it straight, top and bottom. So let's make sure we get that lined up. Hang on, just bear with me. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to come up, or you can come down, either way. So I'm moving it a quarter of an inch. So I'm going to come up, and I'm going to come over to my 4 1/4, and then I'm going to push down again and get a nice score. Okay, so now I've got 2 on this side. Now there, if you can see, I've gone over just a little bit, but I don't think anybody's going to notice that. All right, now I'm going to flip my card around, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to line it up at 3/4 of an inch, the right-hand side, or if you're left-handed, you can just flip it around. All right, we're going to bring the scoring tool in. I'm going to lay that down at my 4 1/4, and then I'm just going to go up because that's where I've got my paper, and I'm going to bring it back to my 4 1/4. Okay, and we're going to do another score and bring it back one more time to 4 1/4. And now I'm going to move this down to the 1 inch mark. And I hope y'all can see these with the lighting. If not, let me know. All right, so I'm at the 4 1/4 mark. And let me see, let me get back over here. All right, so I'm at the 4 1/4. I'm going to push down and just kind of bring it back, keeping in mind where my 4 1/4 mark is. All right, and now I have my first and my second. And this one, I'm going to come back in the one I just did, or the first one I just did at the 3/4 mark. I'm going to push my scoring thing and blade in just a little bit because that one doesn't look like it's very, it doesn't have as much depth. There we go. Okay, so let me move that. Can you all, let me see if I can get something that's dark here. Hold on a minute. Let me see if this green cardstock will help. Does that help to show it any? Can you see that? See how I've got the 2 lines here and the 2 lines there? Now those are the indentions, right? Can you see? Now if I'm gonna flip this back this way, right? Because we want the outy parts. So see how, can you see that in the light? Maybe I need to turn the light in. Let me check the light behind me. I'm not sure if y'all can. Can you see those lines? Somebody leave me a message if you don't mind. Give me a quick message if you can see these lines, because if not, I'll try to take out some of the lights. Are you able to see these score lines? Just say yes or no. There's about a 15-second delay. Okay, you can. Okay, perfect. All right, I just wanted to make sure you could see them. Okay, so this is the technique, and I just think it's a really nice way. You know, you can keep it simple. You can decorate it however you want, but I'm going to keep them very basic. So this one, I made it into a thank you card. So and you can add something else, and I'll show you 3 different ways, which the other cards where I did add some cards, some designer paper. So this one, we're going to go ahead, and we don't have to use black ink. We could use any color ink we wanted, but I'm going to use our Memento Black. So I'm just going to stamp up or ink up my thank you, and I don't know if I like that. Hang on, looks like I got a little bit too much ink. Hold on, I forgot this ink pad doesn't get used as much as the one over on the other side. All right, so let me just put a little bit of ink on that. There we go. And again, I'm just going to stamp this in the bottom right corner. And if you have a larger stamp, I don't have a bigger thank you stamp. I think that would look nicer if you had a bigger sentiment. And I'm doing that on the birthday one. I'll show you that. So for now, we're just going to make this a thank you card. So I'm just going to push down and then pop up. And that's all I'm going to do. Now you can add more to it if you'd like. But again, I'm just going to keep it very simple just to show you how the card will look without putting a whole lot to it. And I just love the scoring. I just think it's awesome. All right, so there's one way that we're going to do it, okay? Now, let me move this out of the way. So we're going to show that one. And let me put the other one over here. Okay, so the next one is the one that I did. And this is, again, showing you not to do. I'm going to do 2 score lines. And then I'm putting a piece of designer paper in the center and then 2 score lines above it. And then I'm stamping happiest birthdays. And this paper, if you're wanting to know where it's from, is the Just Kidding designer paper. It's the one that has all the little kids on it, and they're doing all fun activities and other things like that. So welcome everyone. Okay, so now we're going to do this one. And again, this is indented. So I'm going to make sure now when I do that, I want it flipped over so that you can see those the up part, okay? So, all right, so let's put that one off to the side, and let's bring our card base in. See, I told you this is not going to take that long, but I think it just makes really nice cards. All right, so I'm going to fold my card again because I just want to make sure I've got it folded and it's all nice and even. And get my bone folder out. And you can do this, as I mentioned, on our note cards. You know, note cards, there's, I think there's 20. Hang on a second. Okay, this is a bargain. I tell you, we forget about some of the things we have in our catalog and the inexpensive. So if you just want to send a quick note card to somebody, and this is what I used when I got an order from a couple years ago. I worked with a company in Kentucky. And I think I worked with them for 3 or 4 years where I made greeting cards, and he wanted note cards. And it was much less expensive for me to use our note cards. And the reason I say that, on page 135 of the annual catalog, you can get note cards. There's 20 cards, basic white or vanilla, 20 cards and 20 envelopes, and they're $8. So you can, if you just want to send a quick note out, use our note cards. I mean, that's kind of like a no-brainer, right? 20 cards and 20 envelopes for $8, okay? This technique would look really good on those cards as well because it's going to really make them pop. I mean, it makes them pop on this one, but it's going to make them pop on that one as well. Okay, so on this one, let me get my, sorry, making noise here. Let me bring in my scoring paper trimmer. And this you can find in the catalog as well. I think it runs $30 if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but it's a must-have as far as I'm concerned. Okay, so on this one, let's see, what did I do? I came over, let me see. I'm looking at my notes. Oh, no leaves, we didn't do that. Flip side, we already did that. I think I came up, let me see, let me measure this. I want to say I came up 1 1/4. I came up to, I know, I'm going to come up 1 inch, and then I'm going to move it, and then we'll score. Okay, so I'm going to, we're 8 1/2, right? So we're going to move it over to the 1 inch mark, and that's where I'm going to start doing my 2 score lines. And then I'm going to leave a gap of about, the piece of designer paper that I'm using is 3/4 of an inch. So I'm probably going to leave a gap of about 1 inch, which would give us maybe 1/8 on each side, right? Maybe I'll do 7/8. So it would give us 1/8 of an inch. And then we'll do 2 lines on top. So we're going to do 2 horizontal lines. So we're going to move it over to the 1 inch mark. And again, we're just going to score, push down really, you know, not to rip the paper, but enough to give it the indentation. And then we're going to move it from 1 inch to, we're going to move it 1/4 inch, just like we did. And we could do 1/8 of an inch, but I kind of like the 1/4 inch. I think it gives it just enough of a space. All right, so I did 1/4 inch there. So now I want to come over, I'm going to flip this around because to the right side of my board, I can't go any further than what I need. So I am going to take from this score line, so I've got it lined up on the score line, in the track of where I just scored the second line. So I'm going to move this, now this is at, hang on, let me just double check. All right, this is at 1 1/4. So I want to move it 7/8 of an inch because I want to leave room to put my designer series paper in there. So this is 1/4. So we go up to 2, which is 3/4, and I'm going to come over 2 lines, which will be 7/8. So I'm going to do 7/8, and I'm going to move it over 1 more little line so that I have a little bit of space, and then we're going to go ahead and score. So I'm just going to score, right? Whoops, I'm pushing a little hard. I don't want to tear it. And then we're going to move over 1/4 inch, And let's see, we got there, we've got, that's going to be 3/8, and we're going to do 1/4 inch right there, and we're going to do that. Okay. All right, so you can see my 1/4 inch. Now now you'll see I went off on my board a little bit. This one's a little bit higher, but hopefully it, you know, I'm going to let it go, but this one I should have come down 1/8 of an inch. But I don't think anybody's going to notice it. So hopefully when I add my designer paper, it will kind of hide that part and they won't see it. So I'll probably cover this up just almost to there, and they won't maybe see that as high of a gap. So I'm just going to add this right here. Now remember, look what I'm getting ready to do. Like we always do, right? I need to flip this over because I want my ridges to be up, right? Because we've indented, so we want the popped in part, we want it to show up right here. So that's what we have to do. So I'm just going to go ahead and add my piece of paper here, designer paper. I'm not going to worry about my spacing. I don't think anybody's going to really, they may notice it, but in the big scheme of things, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I can adjust this to make the other one look a little bit like it's whiter. So we'll just add our adhesive. So just don't do what I did, all right? So just make sure I was off a little bit because I was going by my 1/8, and I think I went like an extra 1/16 of an inch. All right, so we're gonna place this down here, and you can make your height however you want. You can put a bigger piece of designer paper, whatever, okay? So I'm gonna move this up a little bit so that kind of hopefully will offset. And I'm gonna lay that right there, and I have it going over just a little bit, just because I like to make sure it's going to go all the way across, and then I'll just trim this little piece off, and we'll just throw that in the trash can. All right, so we're doing the scoring technique, so you can see now how the lines are. Now obviously this one's a little bit wider, but I'm not going to fret over that. And then we're going to come in and do our sentiment, and again, I could use a different color if I wanted. I could use whatever color, probably Berry Burst, but I'm just going to go with black for now. And this is going to be a birthday card. So this is a much bigger stamp. So we'll have lots of room that we can do our, I'm going to clean this. Hang on a second. My ink pad, let's just clean it off. My little S got a little too much ink. So let's try that one more time. There we go. All right, so I am going to, again, you can put it in the center. I'm going to offset it just a little bit. And you can add some other decorations here too. If you want to add some ribbon or some embellishments, more, you know, you can do what you want, all right? So there is a nice, bold birthday sentiment. And we could come in and add, you know, we could put a little bow on here if we wanted, but I'm going to leave this plain and simple just like I did the first time. So there's another way that you can just do a very simple card and a little bit of designer paper, okay? So there's that one. All right, and then we're going to move over to the next one, which this one we're going to cover our white base, but we're going to take a piece of basic white that is 2.5 by 4 1/4, and we're going to make 3 small lines. These are going to be 1/8 of an inch apart, but again, you can do what you want. And see, I'm so used to scoring, I glued it down instead of flipping it over so that my ridges would pop up. So I just want to make sure that you see, just keep that in mind. If you have to make a note on your desk, that's probably what you have to do, okay? So again, 8.5 by 5.5, and I took that little extra piece and I put it in there. All right, so that's what we're going to do on this one. And this paper is from the Poetic Expressions, in case you somebody's going to ask me that. So here's our 2.5 by 4 1/4. So I'm going to come in with my trimmer, and we're going to get our scoring board. Now this one, let me see, what did I do here on this one? Line up at 1/2 and go 1/8. Okay, so since this one's smaller, I'm going to line this one up at 1/2 inch. Okay, so I'm going to go to the right, and this is 1/2 inch, and I'm going to do 1/8. I'm going to make a score mark here, and then I'm going to do 2 more at 1/8 of an inch. So I'm going to pull this one down. All right, and then I'm going to move this down 1/8. So I'm at what am I at? I'm at 1/2, right? So I need to do 1/8 of an inch. So 1/8 is going to go to the second line. So I'm going to move it over those 2 lines, and then I'm going to do another score. And again, putting a little bit extra pressure. And then I'm going to do another one that is, let me see. I got to find, I'm looking at something. Hang on a minute. Where's my board? Where's my card? Okay. And then we're going to move it one more on 1/8. So we are at 1, and we're going to move this over to 1 3/4. So we're going to put 1 3/4 there. 1 3/4. And I'm going to move one more down, which is going to be 1 3/4. 2 more marks will be 7/8, because I want my 3 marks. Okay. All right. So I've got my 3. Well, I've got really a 4th one, but we're going to pretend that one that we don't see. Oh, we'll just do 4. Okay, that's all right. We'll do 4. Okay, so I'm just going to change it up. We're going to do a 1/2 inch here. So I've lined it up here on the 1/2, and we'll do 4 lines instead of 3. So there you go. So this one, again, we're going to push down, and then we're going to move it over from a 1/2. We're going to move over another 1/8, and we're going to move it to another 1/8. And I'm just going to push down again to kind of give it some pressure. And we'll move one more 1/8. So go 2 more marks. That will be 7/8 again. All right. And then there are, okay, so now I'm flipping it over, and you can see the lines. Okay, see how much difference it makes when you show this side of the card, not the other side? And that's the whole idea, is to show the paper where we've popped it up. So down looks fine, but the idea is to have it like this. All right, so we're going to take our 8.5 by 5.5 basic white, and this is thick basic white. So let me get it folded and burnish it with my bone folder. And we'll do the other side as well. Now this one, we're going to add a piece of designer paper, and this is cut at 4 1/4, because we're going to cover the whole front. So 4 1/4 by 5.5. Isn't that pretty paper? And then I had a little piece that I cut off when I was trimming, so we're going to add that to the inside of the card. So let's go ahead and add this. I like this paper too, that's pretty, but I thought it was too much white. So we're going to let the green part show. All right, so we're going to put this on here. Now I don't need to worry about this card base because we didn't score this one, we did on this one. So we're going to lay this on here and get it all set up. Make sure we've got it on there all nice. I love this paper. I just got it in, so this is the first time I've used it. So that's nice. Very good. Now I'm going to take this piece. I'm going to go ahead and add this to the inside because I don't want to waste it, right? So we want to use up our little strips that we have. And let's see if I can pick this up without getting glue all over. Lord have mercy. Hang on. I'm going to get it. There we go. Because, you know, we end up wearing glue all the time, right? So I'm going to lay this down here. It's going to have a little bit, it should go, yep, it's perfect. It goes right there. I'm going to leave a little bit of a gap at the bottom. That just shows that the inside of our card is a little decorated, so it's not so plain Jane. All right, now this one, we can either pop this up on dimensionals. I did not, but I'm thinking, this one's so flat looking, I'm thinking we should pop it up. So let's do that. Since we've done it one way on the other card, let's just pop this one up on dimensionals. And we'll see how that does. But first, before I do that, I've got to stamp it. So stamp before you pop it up. All right, so, oh, I got dimensionals over here. Look at that. All right, so this one, we're going to do, hey there. Oh, and before I forget, I am using, this, in case you want to know where the sentiments are coming from, the throughout the year, this carried over from the holiday catalog, and this is where the happiest of birthday stamp came from. So you can access this. It is still available. And then the other one is the charming sentiments, which has some really nice sentiments. And this is where I use the what did I use? What did I use? The thank you and the thank you. Maybe that came out of this one. Oh, I used the thank you out of throughout the year. And then this one, we're going to do hey there. And I think it comes out of this one. Hang on a minute. Let me find it. Hey there, hey there, hey there, hey there. is hey there? Oh, right here. So the charming sentiments is where the hey there comes into. All right. So let's go ahead and ink this up and stamp this. And again, I'm going to do black. I could do the same color as my cardstock, but I'm just going to do everything in black. So I'm going to stamp that right again towards the bottom, or a little bit towards the bottom, off to the right. And I'm going to stamp that there. And look what I did. I stamped it on the wrong side, because there's my thing, right? That's out of habit. So I'm going to flip it over. And since you can see that, I'm going to stamp it now on the left side. So I've got my ridges up. So I'm just going to stamp on this side so you don't see that going through. So we'll just stamp it there. See what happens? Because we're so used to doing it one way that it's hard to change our ways, right? I know. Okay. So that's all right. So we're going to fix that. No big deal. So we've got that. Now we're going to pop it up on dimensionals. So glad I caught that, because otherwise we would have been having a reversed piece of paper like I did before, and that's not what I wanted y'all to see. So we're going to pop this one up and see what it looks like. And you could add a piece of ribbon to this too if you wanted to. Push your thumbnails down inside your dimensionals. It lifts up the backing, so it makes it much easier for you to pull off. And then just grab a hold of it and pull these little guys off. And we'll put them in the trash can. Actually, we'll just move them off to the side for now. Okay, so now we have our hey there. So we're going to put that right here in the center. So I'm going to place that right about there. And then it looks very plain. So let's come in with some of our red and green adhesive back pearls. These, you can find these in the annual catalog. So I'm going to place some of the, oh, what color do we want? We could do these little guys right here. What do you think? Or should we add something of color? We could do red, or we could do silver or gold, or I can do this bluish color. All right, let's see. Do we want that? All right, there's the blue. Can y'all see that? I'm not going to stick it down yet. So we can do with this blue. Or, let me put it back, we could do a gold. Let me pull that one up. We could do gold. What would you think that looks like? Or we can do silver or red. Red would pop, but I don't know. Let's see. Well, it's kind of like a reddish pink. Or we could do that. What do y'all think? Give me some feedback real quick so we can attach our... this one, the previous card, I did gold. So that's what it looks like with gold. I'm thinking the blue, but I'm wondering maybe if I should just go all out and do pink, but that has nothing to do with anything. So I think I'm going to do blue, so y'all better hurry up and answer me. Somebody make a comment. Which do you prefer? The blue, green color pearls. Okay, that's what I'm thinking, because it kind of goes with that, right? So let's put, we'll put 3. That's what I was thinking, and you know, we're just going to place them. You know, you can scatter them around if you want. We'll place one down here. And we could always add a piece of ribbon if it looks too plain. But again, you know, sometimes we kind of go over the top. Yeah, they are all good choices. Sometimes we tend to forget, and we want to add all this stuff to it. And I think sometimes the lesser simplistic things are nice to see. So there are 3 ideas of how you can do some scoring for your cards. And there you go. I did put the blue on there. So there is some ideas. Let me zoom the camera in. That might help a little bit too. Let's see if we can zoom it in. All right, maybe that helps. So there are some ideas of what you can do with your scoring. All right, so just make sure that you flip your card around so that you don't see the indented part. You want the part that pops up. But there you go, 3 easy cards that you can send out, especially if you're using the note cards. You can knock these out in no time because they're already cut and scored for you. And you can send out notes quite often, and it makes it look really gorgeous. So that is it for today. I know it wasn't that, well, actually, I guess we were here about 35 minutes. So anyways, there you go. If you have any questions, leave me some comments if you would like. Make sure you share or if you're on the Facebook group, obviously just let your friends know to join our group and see the cards that we've made. All right, so I hope y'all enjoy your Friday afternoon or lunchtime, depending on wherever you are watching. And don't forget, tomorrow is my BOGO, so my Retire products will be on sale. It starts at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Go to Facebook, Shall We Stamp, and just look up Shall We Stamp online BOGO, something, it should come up, Shall We Stamp BOGO. But I think I have the link in the document. But anyways, you should be able to find it. If not, let me know. I'll send you a link. And make sure that you read the instructions. You might want to download them to your computer because it will also have the link on there to get to the Google Doc that you'll need, or yes, the Google Doc that you'll need to sign. All right, everybody, it will run from 9 o'clock tomorrow through Sunday about 6 o'clock. If you're doing it in the evening, I will try, but at some point I'm probably not going to check it because I might be too tired. But anyways, all right, everybody, thanks again. I greatly appreciate you taking time out of your afternoon to watch, and I will see you back on Tuesday evening for our Facebook Live. And I don't know what I'm doing yet, but we'll figure out something. It's going to be fun. All right, everybody, have a great afternoon, and